Good morning, family, and welcome to the journey. Welcome to Monday Morning Movement. Start by introducing myself. My name is Candy Grant, and I am a professional team builder, developer, and trainer of people. For years, I have trained and developed people, trained and developed teams to help develop into more efficient, effective teams. And I'm taking the leap of faith to step out and offer what I know to people who have been looking for me. So I want to say to those who have been in search for someone that needs this information that I'm going to give you, I'm so sorry for waiting for so long to get over my fear, get over my doubt, get over whatever it was that was in my mind and thinking that I shouldn't do it. So I'm sorry. I sincerely apologize to you. But I'm here now, and no need to fluff it around. Let's just get to business. I want to give you what I have for you today. I'm going to come to you more regularly. I started this probably about a year ago trying to do it. I flopped, I failed, but guess what? I did some work in between the flop and the fail, and I'm up again. So let's do it. I've wasted enough time. I want to talk to my wives who are newlyweds over age 35. And not saying that I don't have a message for you if you don't fit in that category. What I am saying is I believe that wives over 35 who are newlyweds, the way we grew up, the culture that we grew up around has helped shape some things in how we think. And I want to uncover some of those things that may have been detriments to how we think. And that's going to be my mission, because the most favorite team, the most team that I love, that I'm most passionate about building, is that unit of the family. I love family. I love my family. I love your family. I love just being able to see families together. Families being able to fellowship together, being able to have fun together, love each other, getting along with one another. I love family. So this is going to be my focus, to help my wives help you build a better family. So my topic today is talking about making the decision. Making a decision to make your marriage work. And I think that that's where it starts. And many of my training classes, most of my training classes that I teach, my workshops that I do, there always has to be a foundation first. When there's a foundation and you can link yourself to that foundation, then guess what? You feel like you have a purpose. You feel like what you're working towards, that you have a reason to be working towards it. So I want to link you to what my foundation is, but I want to give you the opportunity to be able to make the decision that you're going to make your marriage work. So first, let's talk about the foundation of marriage. Marriage was created in the kingdom of God. That's where it came from. God is the creation of marriage. He created marriage between the unity of Adam and Eve. So very much like our cell phones. So you either an Apple user or you're an Android user, right? If you are an Apple user and something goes wrong with your phone, and let's just say you're about the mall and there is no Apple store in the mall that you're in, but you could go into a Samsung store. Is Samsung going to be able to fix what's wrong with your Apple phone? Now, granted, there may be a technician there who has the knowledge of technology, like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you may just need to restart the phone, whatever it may be. However, you're going into a place that didn't create what you have. So when we operate marriage outside of what God created, we can't expect for it to blossom. We can't expect for it to prosper, because we're deciding that we're going to create it and we're going to do it outside of the way God created it to be. So number one, let's keep marriage the way that God created it to be. Marriage is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And we see a lot of stories with a lot of the celebrities, a lot of, people that we know on the news that, after years, they're getting divorces. And that breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because the unity of marriage is the foundation of the family. What happens to our families when that man and that woman, when they're no longer together? We're talking about children who are now become adults, who now they have their children, grandchildren who don't have their grandparents together. Man, when I tell you, in my opinion, after God's gifts and his goodness and his greatness, grandparents are one of the best gifts that God has given us. So what disservice do we do to our family when we decide that we're going to make the decision that we're no longer going to be together? I want to say I'm not a counselor. I'm not a determiner that you married the right person, the wrong person. I'm not here to argue that, hey, well, things just didn't work out. If that's the case, I understand. I'm not here to debate that with you. However, what I am here to do is to give you some tips that may be able to help you to stay in the fight. There are no days off when it comes to marriage. It is a work. It is a process. It is progress every single day. But what you have to believe is that every single day that you make progress. What you have to believe is that every single day, no matter what happens, no matter what challenges that may arise, what things may look like challenges, you have to believe that it's working for your good and it's working to push you forward. It's working to push your family forward. Those are things that we have to believe in that foundation. So understand, making the decision to make your marriage work is so, so vital. It's so vital to how you move from here on out. It's so vital to how you make decisions from here on out. And I'll give you an example. Do I have a perfect marriage? Absolutely not. I've gone through some trials. I've gone through some hiccups. I've gone through some upsets. And in my heart, I know that I married the right person because I prayed and I asked God first before we got married. Sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes we marry because let's get married. I love you, you love me, so let's do this. So when we made that decision, understand that we made a covenant. We made a covenant before God that says that, you know what, no matter how hard this gets, we're going to push through it. So in your mind, as a foundation, you have to make the decision that I am going to do whatever it takes to make my marriage work. That's how you set the foundation to how you now make decisions to move your marriage forward. Because when we have in our thought process that I might leave or we might need to get a divorce, you always in your mind feel like you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And that is a very dangerous zone. You don't want to be in that. You don't want to be in that. Make the decision that you are going to work to keep your marriage, to keep your union together. Together as your sister, together as your friend. I'm going to give you some tips along our journey to help you without even getting the participation of your husband. You're going to be able to see turnaround just from you doing things differently. That's what I'm going to show you. Those are some things that I'm going to help you with. Those are some things that I'm going to assist you through so that you can see the transformation in your marriage that you want to see, so that you can live the life, the abundant life that Jesus came to give us, and live joyfully and have joy in your marriage. Now, does that mean you won't have challenges? Does that mean you won't have hard times? Absolutely not. You will. You will, but guess what? With the foundation of this decision that you've made, that you're going to stay in it, you're going to work to make your marriage work, you're going to work to keep your family unit together, that sets your foot on the right path, that everything I do from here on out is working to keep my family together. It's working to keep my family unit together. It's working to move my marriage forward. It's working so that we experience progress in our marriage every day. Every day. It might be a little bite at a time, but guess what? It's progress. It's progress. Put your foot on that path. Make that decision for you and for your family and for generations to come. This is bigger than us. This is bigger than us. I'll tell you a quick story. Before I got married, I started listening to some teachings on how to be a good wife and things that it required to be a good wife. And I remember someone who I highly respect in the gospel, Dr. Tony Evans, he said, marriage is not about your happiness. And that stuck with me. So if you didn't know that, I'm telling you from the words of Dr. Evans, marriage is not about your happiness. It's so much bigger than that. So if your only reason for being married is because you want to be happy in a relationship, that's the wrong mindset for us to have. And what I help you do is change that mindset so that you know what marriage is about and that you can experience marriage to its fullest. Because you are so demeaning the meaning of marriage by only thinking that it's about your happiness. It's so much bigger than that. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's the example to the world on how Jesus loves his people. That's what we are to demonstrate through our marriages. So I thank you for joining me this morning. We're going to call this our Monday morning movements. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes every Monday morning just to give you a tidbit, something to think about, something to do, something to take action on today. Until next Monday morning, I want you to make the decision. And it may take you a while. It may take you some contemplation. It may take you some prayer. It may take you some reflection. Whatever it takes from this Monday to next Monday, I want you to write it down. I want you to say it out of your mouth every day this week. I am making the decision to work this through and make my marriage work. And I'm only looking at me. I'm only going to be accountable for me. I'm not looking at, well, my husband not doing this. He don't want to do this. No. That's not the approach we're taking. We're taking the approach to make changes only in us, to watch and see how our marriages can be transformed. So until next Monday morning, make the decision to do the work and make your marriage work. I love you, and I look forward to seeing more of you. Like my channel, subscribe to my channel. It's very new, but if this has been an inspiration to you, I hope that I can bring more inspirations to you as we go along this journey together. Have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you next Monday.